Today's guest is a trained mechanic turned into a personal chef. Brian has a fantastic meal delivery prep service that he has started during COVID, which has been one of the toughest times for many business owners. Not only does he provide a fantastic meal prep service where you can pick up at one of his many restaurants or they can deliver to you, but he also offers an at-home, in-personal chef experience where he will cook for you and a group of your friends, your family, and all in the comfort of your own home. You can really tell how passionate Brian is about cooking, and I can tell you that is why he is so successful at what he does. He is passionate about not only the food, but the experience that he's creating for the people that are eating his food. He really cares about not just the food, but the whole experience. And I think that's why Brian is such a special guy. And I'm excited that you get to see this episode because it was a blast talking to him. So here it is, my friend, Chef Brian Isbell. I feel like I found you on Facebook, randomly popped up as like a mutual friends or something. And then I've been watching your social media. You do like a lot of catering and meal delivery and meal prep and stuff.
Correct. So I graduated in 1995 at the top of my class from Bosse's Culinary Arts School on Thompson Road, and in the hospitality industry, a cruise ship or a resort is your big money. So I thought I could parlay that into something big. You can easily start at $120,000-$130,000 easily as a chef. One of those places. I didn't really find anything, so I went down to the Holiday Inn here in Syracuse and applied for a job with CSX Railroad. And out of 233 guys, they hired me and another guy. So I figured I would get this quote unquote job until my culinary career took off. Basically, a story that you hear a lot. 1 month became 3 months, became 6 months, a year. Next thing you know, I'm 5 years done with my apprenticeship. 2019, I retired with a full pension at 42 years old.
Whoa, that's impressive.
Yeah, not too bad. I can't wait for that pension to kick in.
So you were at the train, CSX?
Yep. So I was in charge of a crew that re-railed trains when they derailed. That was my job. If I told you how many trains derail, you'd never ride one again.
I was just thinking, I'm like, how often are they calling you out?
I was busy. I can tell you that.
Were you working for the train company while starting this business?
Nope. So I cooked at home. That's about it. Cooked at home. I've always loved the kitchen. I started cooking up with my mom, my grandmother, so I was always involved at some level in culinary arts, plating, how to blend and mend flavors. I was always into that. And that was a lot of knowledge. But anything, you take and hone your skills. So you go to a culinary arts school and, I wasn't the best student. So I found I only passing, I think, was 65 and I got about 67s so that I could wrestle. Just so I could stay on the mat and train. And, but then, so I worked for the railroad. And then when I retired, I did about 6 months of, Mr. Cory, like the shutter you've been meaning to paint for the last 10 years.
Oh, right.
I did that kind of stuff around my house. We live out near Beaver Lake Nature Center.
Yeah.
And then I told my beautiful bride, I said, I'm bored. I said, I think I'm at the end of Netflix. and so she said, why don't you do something with your culinary degree? So she's a teacher in East Syracuse. So I said, I'll tell you what. I said, why don't you why don't you bring 5 of your friends over and I'll cook for them? But I need them to be brutally honest with me. If as far as a chef is concerned, if you just say that was good,
Right.
we keep making it that way because you said it was good. Don't be afraid to hurt my feelings. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that was smart to do like 3 people together and do like or 5 people together,
yeah,
do like a test group.
yep. And basically, what happened is a lady that was at that gathering said this was absolutely amazing and we love the food. My husband's birthday is in 2 weeks. Can you do the same thing but surprise him? So I said,
Oh,
sure, I don't mind doing that. And then again, I just sort of did this as a favor. Um, a lady that was at that party said, "Can you do the same thing for my mother?"
right.
So that's when I started. Okay, so maybe this is a thing. So we've got to get a DBA, lawyers, accountants, get
Right.
our LLC and stuff like this. So
Wow.
I just made my name a licensed liability company, and I did that for about a year. I would just go into people's homes and just use my culinary skill set to just bring them amazing things that they've never even seen before. As a matter of fact, I've had people tell me this is what it must be like for a celebrity to eat, because it's
That's
just
amazing.
plated beautifully. And part of our service is we bring, so once I plan a menu with a client, first of all, of course, I plan out any allergies, whether you want to be gluten free or whatever it might be. I work around that first. That's very important. I have food liability insurance, but we don't want to try that out.
Yeah, right,
You
right,
know,
right.
so I plan a menu, and then from there, I tell them just sit back because we take care of everything. We come into people's homes. I need I bring pots, pans, forks, knives, napkins, everything you would possibly need. And then we also clean the place, and you'd never even know we were there.
Oh, wow.
The day before, we do all shopping for our clients. So they tell us what they want to eat. We take care of all the provisions, all the shopping, so that they have to do nothing. They do zero. And then we just come in and put on these amazing um, displays, and they're just totally taken back by it. We have so many different clients. I tell people I've cooked in hunting cabins to $10 million mansions and everything in between there.
Yeah.
Uh, Sometimes we had a recent client of a bar owner here in Syracuse, and they wanted to just listen to Sinatra and drink wine. Um, it was their 60th anniversary, so okay. But then I've also had parties of 15, 20 people where they want to sit around a bar and watch what I do, like a cooking show, if you will.
That's cool.
And I'll talk to them just like you and I are doing, explain to them exactly what I'm doing and why I'm putting this cream in this wine in this bechamel sauce,
Yeah.
and stuff
Wow,
like
that's really impressive. And when did this officially launch, your Chef Brian business?
Yep, that was 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Really?
So that was 2020. So I did that for a year. Then, about a year into it, I was actually at said in-home personal chef experience, and a client came to me after we got done, and they had twin crab imperial stuffed lobster tails, dauphinoise potatoes, chateaubriand, real high-end menu. Um, she's a real predominant figure in the Syracuse area, and she said to me, Brian, can you do this on a smaller scale? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, like a smaller scale. And I said, Doc, I said, hey, take care, pal. I said, sure. What are you thinking about? And you know how, Cory, you can see the wheels turning in someone's head. And
Yeah.
and I said, Doc, I said, just tell me what you're thinking here. And she said, Brian, this is the thing. She said, my mother suffers from dementia. Um, so she'll put something on the stove and then walk away from it like 2 hours at a time. And I'm scared she's going to burn the house down.
Wow.
And she said, not only that, she said, but I live in Skinny Atlas and I have to go from Skinny Atlas all the way to Liverpool every Tuesday and Thursday just to cook for her, to cook her meals.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, I said, I really don't get into that. I see where you're going, but I don't really do that. And she said, okay, think about it. And then my beautiful bride is my sous chef. So I told my beautiful bride, I said, I sort of feel bad. I feel, it sort of hurt my heart that this lady couldn't get food and
Yeah.
busy schedule. She's running around. So I went to this doctor and I said, listen, I said, this was a Saturday that I had done this. I said, tomorrow when I go home and I watch football, I said, I'll make like little half pans of stuff. And I made like Swedish meatballs. I think I made our 4-layer lasagna, very popular, some chicken francais for, and then I just went to Walmart and I got little packages, packaged it all up, and brought it to her on Monday. Just 5 meals for the week. This was Thursday. 2 of her friends called me and said, whatever you gave Janice on Monday, we want that. So I went from 5 meals to 20 meals in 4 days.
Wow.
And then for the next 26 weeks in a row, we went up by 17 meals or more, just consistently for 26 weeks.
So it sounds like there's almost like 2 departments, right? It's almost like,
there's a lot of different facets of my business.
Yeah.
I dabble in catering, not too much into catering, because there's 1,000 caterers in the Central New York area. That's not really,
but there's not really many of them that are doing at-home cooking.
Yeah, like you can't really hire a personal chef into
Right.
business,
Right.
So that's what I created. And then, the meal prep, Chef Brian's meal prep delivery service, that was, like I said, I just explained the story to you. That was sort of by accident. I just sort of did it for a friend.
Right. Which is how you started your business. I'm noticing a trend. You're just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then you're like,
like I know how to do that stuff, but I've never really, like I said, I worked for someone else.
Right.
I never ran a business. But you learn those things as a business owner, sometimes the hard way. But then we just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it just took off.
Right.
So
and how did you say, like, as a business owner, you learned these kind of things, but like, is it just been trial and error, or is it like there's certain books that you read on how to start your business, or you just kind of go with the flow kind of guy?
Yeah, I've read books, a lot of YouTube, I've taken a couple business classes at OCC just to understand how to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the major lessons that I learned, Mr. Cory, is that you have to stay in your lane. There's a lot of business owners out there that they try to be the accountant. They try to be the lawyer. They try to do this and they try to do that. And it's just, they fail. 60% of businesses in the field that I'm in fail within the first year. Another 20% go under 2 years into it. We're now 2.25 years and we haven't stopped. We haven't looked back. So we outgrew in 15 months. We outgrew 3 commercial restaurants. We used to be at the Jones Road Soccer Center in Beeville. We hit about 100 meals per week. We outgrew that place. We were at another commercial kitchen. We hit about 230 meals per week. We outgrew that place. We went to Canal Side Cafe in Baldwinsville. It's a little breakfast spot. Great food there. We hit 330 meals per week. We outgrew that place. So I just started looking around and I bought this restaurant up on Tip Hill.
And how, like, so with how much your business has scaled, how have you managed to still put out 200 meals to 300 meals? You must have a bunch of people working for you.
Yeah, I build a good team, and I pay people, to be honest with you. I pay them. If you're worth it, you're going to be part of this team and you're going to wear this shirt, and you're going to be on magazine covers when we're on magazine covers and in articles and, in pictures in the newspaper. You're going to be in that because you're part of the team. And to be honest with you, Mr. Cory, they stick around. They stick around because they see it. This is something. This is big. This guy has created a system that's working. and it continues to work over and over and over again. But we make everyone part of the team. And, I mean, look at me, I'm the CEO and I'm still in the dish pit sometimes,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's what has to be done.
Right. And
We're all there for one common goal, and that's success. And that's what we do.
with how many people work for you?
I employ 7 people and then 6 delivery drivers.
Oh, wow. So I mean, that's a pretty big team of people.
Correct.
Wow, holy cow. And like when you are hiring those people, what type of qualities are you looking for in somebody? Are you looking for somebody who can cook, or is that a skill that you can learn over time?
Yeah, you can absolutely learn that, and it doesn't take a lot of hard work. You'll learn the tricks of the trade, as they say. It's not hard. Obviously when we're taking a knife and cutting, we don't stick our finger in there, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, right.
it's basic stuff, but it's all taught. We can teach it all. It's dedication that we need, and show up. A lot
Yeah.
of people these days, from what I hear, restaurant owners, other people in the culinary industry, it's hard to get help. I hear that all the time. I have not had that problem not one time have I had
Mhm.
that problem. Um,
Wow.
you come and some people you have to get rid of, and you hire on and take on new people because of certain things they might have going on in their life. And that's no problem. I get that. But the people that are down for this and down with the cause of what we're doing, they stick around. They stick around, and we build a team and we build a family, and they continue to stay. That's
What do you think keeps them from going anywhere?
they know that they're part of something. They know
Yeah.
that they're part of something that's growing and it's going to be big.
Yeah.
Much like many of my clients speak to me about, they say, "Chef, we just love following your story on social media.
Yeah.
Where you came from, just a goofy old wrestler, right? Now look at you."
Yeah, that's like it's so cool to see because like this business has really taken off so quickly. When it comes to like building the meal delivery service, that is already like a pre-created menu, right? How do you come up with that menu ahead of time?
Yep. So currently we have 83 recipes in our rotation. Uh, Probably 25% of them are recipes from my mother, my grandmother. Another probably quarter of what we make, I've been making for my own family for years.
Really?
Dishes that I've been making to where, I say, "Hey, let's try this on the menu," and some might fail. They might fail. My family loves sauerkraut and pork. Huge disappointment on my menu. I put it on my menu like for a couple weeks, and not good, not good.
Yeah.
But again, those are those mistakes that you learn from that I was speaking about earlier.
Yeah, right, right.
Learn
So
that.
it's like when you create those menus, it's like you're trying some new things, you're taking big swings. Do you also like when you're trying something new, do you try to pair it with like a favorite, like the like potatoes or roasted potatoes or something that you know will hit well when
Yeah.
you're pairing it with something new?
Yep. Of course, as a chef, you learn that kind of stuff too. What pairs with what? You
Right.
know, no pun intended.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
but for instance, a lot of people reach out to me. Can you do keto, paleo, gluten free, stuff like this? So at one point in time, I tried that. This is the thing. People like comfort food. They like delicious meals that are put together and built decently, and they plate well, they travel well, they reheat well. Um, for instance, you probably will likely never see too many fish dishes on our menu. No one wants to eat reheated fish,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
So I tried keto, stuff like that. And just to give you some kind of idea of how massive it is, these delivery drivers just came back about an hour ago. They delivered 527 meals to Central New York this week. That's in one week.
Whoa,
So we do in one week what restaurants do in about 3 weeks.
that's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. Do you think COVID really changed the landscape for that?
It most certainly helped. Yeah. Yeah, it most certainly helped. People don't want to go out. But it's what really makes it is convenience. Mr. Corey, I'll tell you the top three things that I hear on a daily basis. A, I don't know how to cook. B, I don't want to cook. And C, your service is so convenient, it just makes it easier in my life.
Wow.
People want to eat food. That's never going to change. What they
Right.
don't want to do is they don't want to prep it and they don't want to clean it up. That's where we come in. We take care of all that for you.
Wow.
And it's not something like a national I'll just say it. It's not Meals on Wheels. It's not you've probably seen some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You try Meals on Wheels potatoes, for instance. It reminds you of when you were in high school. I don't know where you went to high school, but
Sienna.
yeah, so it reminds you of going in the lunch line and the lady has the ice cream,
Scoops it.
and then you put it
Yeah.
on. Right. I hire a
You know
girl.
what's funny is we both did the same fart noise for the mashed potatoes. It's like that. It's like coincides together.
It's true. I hire a girl that she comes in 2 hours before anyone comes in, and she takes 3 50-pound bags of chef's potatoes. She washes them, peels them, slices them, boils them, and then puts them in a huge dough mixer. That's an 80-quart dough mixer. It came with this restaurant when I bought it. That's our mashed potatoes.
Ah.
I learned in culinary school, Chef Fitzgerald taught me your name. Well, my name is my business, but your food is your name. So when you touch that high school to your mouth, you think, oh, it's like powdered, like crap.
Yeah.
When you try ours, it's got those little chunks. You think, oh man, this is what my mom made.
Right.
That's where we win right there.
Yeah. It's always interesting to me that I feel like food can pull you to a memory, just like you had said, like you're like, ooh, these potatoes taste like grandma's potatoes. There's just something about that when you eat food, it can be very nostalgic, it can be a very enjoyable thing that it doesn't like it's weird that it ties to memories sometimes,
Correct. And that's why people go back to the same restaurants for certain things.
Yep, exactly.
That's why you would go back to a restaurant.
Right.
And it's also, for my in-home personal chef experience, that's why we plate things nicely. Not only do people deserve it, but people eat with their eyes. I can give you a great example. How many times have you gone to a restaurant and a little waitress comes out and she's got something, you go out with your wife and she's got a tray and it goes right by you. And the first thing you do is you look at it, then you turn to your wife and you go, I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Right? You don't even know what it is. You have no idea what it is. You have no clue. But you look at it and you smell it. Second thing, what do? When she comes back, you go, excuse me, miss, what's that? Table 13,
Yeah.
And then you look at it on the menu.
Right.
That's what we do. People eat with their eyes. You look at something and you go, wow, that looks good. Now it can taste like garbage, but as long as it looks good, you will automatically think that it works.
That's the idea with Chili's and their fajita sizzling platters, right? It makes a giant entrance and people all want the fajitas after.
Right. Just think about Outback. That bloomin' onion looks great, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty cool to look at. I mean, it gave me heartburn, but I don't eat it. But
yeah, when I was looking on your website and your Instagram, like all the plated food looks so cool. And is the idea behind plating to make the food look clean, neat, and almost, it seems very like minimalistic.
Yeah, and again, several tricks of the trade. One huge thing, and I'll tell this to all your viewers. This is the way you can tell if you go into a restaurant, if you've got a trained chef. Plating is always done in odd numbers. Odd numbers are more appealing to the eye. For instance, you will never see 4 scallops on a plate. You'll always see 3 or 5. If you have 4, that person they're probably a cook, but they didn't go through training.
Interesting.
You never plate on blue. Blue is like a sad looking color. It makes food look like it's throw up.
Is it usually white? you played on, like a white plate?
All my plating is pearl white, elegant pearl white. And the only reason I do that is because I can now, it's literally a blank canvas, is
Yeah,
what it would be. I
right.
can do whatever I want to make it look good. But that blue that I'm talking about, you can't take that away.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying? I can
right,
add to it whatever I want to make it look beautiful. But if
right.
it's on something blue, I can't change that color.
Yeah. Right, right. Wow, that's a good point. That's one thing I've never thought of. When I was in high school, I always did the culinary classes because I was a teenage kid that loved to eat. So it was like the one thing I could excel at was cooking, right? And plating was just something I never thought of until I talked to my friend Zach, and he really enlightened me on how like very much a science plating really is. Like you did a great job explaining even further because I didn't even realize the blue plate rule. I wonder if that like correlates to any other different hobbies or thing. Maybe you don't want to use blue for when you paint your house or something, but
Yeah.
like that's it's very interesting to hear. When you do those plating, like when you do those plating events, are you doing it yourself or are you working with somebody else who's plating it the same way you are?
My sous chef right now is my wife, who I've taught basically everything I know. Like I said, she's a teacher, but just being around it for so long,
Yeah.
she's picked it up. I mean, and let me tell you, Mr. Corey, I know a lot of great chefs that didn't do a day in culinary school, but
Mm.
they were taught under the right person. That's
Right.
the thing. Think about electricians. You don't need to know a darn thing about electricity. Well, I mean, you don't stick your hand in there, but
Yeah.
or, but if you hang around with an electrician, you're bound to learn something just from being there.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
she has learned that, but we just increased our party size for in-home personal chef experiences to 20
Cool.
per party, because I hired a young man that actually went to the same culinary art school that I did, and the kid's pretty good. So I asked him, I said, "Hey, do you want to start doing this with me? And the three of us will do it, and we'll
Wow.
have more clients."
Yeah.
But we've done stuff. We did a huge event for Claudia Tenney in Cazenovia, and that was 16 donors for her fund. And they all donate 100 grand, 200 grand, or whatever. And we had halibut with fresh mango salsa and a bordelaise sauce with that. And then they had 75 other donors come and went out in the tent, and they mingled and had drinks and whatever. And I had the butler staff go around, bacon wrapped scallops with a brown sugar demi glaze on them,
Whoa.
and caprese stacker bites. They just went around, and just entertained.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool event. Um,
That's that's cool. What's the biggest event you've done?
well, I have to, let's see, next Thursday, I have to go to Jamesville, DeWitt, and put on a party for 120 teachers for the
Whoa.
Teachers Appreciation Day.
Okay. Okay. So 120.
Yeah,
How do you plan for 120 people?
wisely.
Yeah.
That's how. The phone call that I was on before you and I went live here, that was the Baldwinsville Fire Department. They want
Ah,
they want to throw an event for 175 kids.
wow.
So it's
Holy
you
cow.
know you, but that's again, that's your team, and you
Right.
have to have that. When you're in the midst, especially when you're in someone's home, you have to be in the midst of saying things like, when I have a pot of hot water, you got to say behind, when
Right.
you have, because if I turn around,
Yeah.
I'm going to get burned, you're going to get burned, and then we have to clean all that shit up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got to communicate, and I know what you're doing on this plate, and you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
So
it makes
you like even cooking in somebody else's home, that is really cool. Like I know I've said this before, but I feel like I don't know if anybody in Syracuse is doing that who is a at home chef. Like that is pretty that's really cool. And
not that I know of. I mean, I don't really know of anyone either.
Yeah, I can't think of a single person. When you go into somebody's house and you see their stove set up, has there been like one kitchen you've been like, "Oh my God, I cannot wait to cook in this thing."
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of money in this town. I'll tell you that. A lot.
What when you look at somebody's kitchen, what hits home for you that makes you get excited to cook in it?
Space, first of all,
Yeah.
with the amount of space I have. I mean, we've done some in-home personal chef experiences. Like I said, hunting cabins to we were up in Alexandria Bay. These people didn't even have running water. It was all
Whoa.
out, it was all out of one of those like Aquafina jugs, you know.
Really?
But it was their summer camp. It was a
Yeah,
small
yeah.
camp, and it was their anniversary, so they had them and two friends up, and they wanted to eat. They wanted to have a chef come in. They were out sailing, and they wanted a chef to come in and have a
Dinner
beautiful
ready when they
dinner.
got back.
Yeah, a beautiful dinner.
Wow.
This let's see, Saturday, I'm gonna be in Seneca Lake down at the wineries. It's 17 women that are having a bachelorette party. They're gonna go to the wineries all day and then
Nice.
come home and eat something good. It's an Airbnb they rented.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna be cooking that Airbnb. And do you ever request photos before? Like, I want to picture the kitchen so I can plan before.
Yeah, usually, or definitely, like when we have filet mignons and stuff like that. Definitely, do you have a grill and do you have gas in it?
Yeah.
Because again, that's another lesson I learned the hard way one time was, yeah, we have a grill, and then there were two empty tanks. So now what do I do?
Ah,
You know,
right, right. So when somebody comes to you looking for a service, how do you frame the conversation to get what you need out of it? Just like goals, objectives, stuff like that.
sure. So the first thing is always because we're growing so fast. I mean, it's believe it or not, we were in the top 7 fastest growing small businesses in Central New York
I believe it.
last year.
Yeah.
And you know, first of all is date. What date do you want? Because the way that the the intricacies of in-home personal chef experience, a lot of people do not see. They don't see that. Um, I'm not Applebee's, man. I don't have a staff of 30 that we're going to come over to your house and have
Yeah.
everything in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's me, my wife, and another sous chef. Um, so it's first of all, it's the date, time. Second, what's the event and is it a surprise or not? I do a lot of events, a lot of proposals. These young men will call me
Ooh.
up. I want to. Well, first of all, they call me up. They're all nervous as hell. What do I do all this? I say, buddy, calm down. First of all, take a breath, okay? Second, bring the ring and a bottle of champagne, and I'll take care of all the rest for you.
Right, right.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate. I'm just so nervous. I said, look, I'm married. I get it. I was nervous too. And then we come in and usually, they'll say it's a surprise, and I'll say, okay, what you're gonna do is you just tell her that I've got food coming at say 6 o'clock for conversation sakes. And they think like it's gonna be Grubhub or like DoorDash or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And hey, how are you? I'm Chef Brian. I'll be your personal chef for this evening. And they're like, what? Then they start crying. Oh my God, I love you.
Right.
So they
Wow.
love it. And then from then on out, it's let's plan a menu. What do you eat?
Yeah. Are there allergies? Are there different
Allergies, right?
things?
What's your space look like? Am I going to be in something little or small or
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking like my kitchen just does not have counter space. When you don't have counter space, like how do you make do? Do you bring surfaces like foldable tables with you? Like how do you make that work?
We have foldable tables and all that, but most of the time people have areas. We did an event at Christmas time for Central New York's largest interior design company,
Hmm.
right off of Carrier Circle.
Nice.
They literally had a break room type thing. We fed 25 ribeye steaks, grilled asparagus with lemon masto, a shrimp. No, it was a seafood. It was a gluten-free option, seafood pasta. I made two baklava cheesecakes. It was their Christmas celebration. They had a break room. The little kitchen was about the size of what's behind you.
Which is a small,
Right.
tiny desk.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, their sink was about, I don't know, 2 feet by 2 feet. That's it.
Oh, you're
Um,
saying that my palms are starting to sweat and I'm not even the one cooking?
right.
Like, man, that's wild. So you really have seen like all different style kitchens.
Oh God, man, I've seen it all.
What is it about cooking that like lights you up? Like when you talk about it, you're just like you're like a light bulb.
Yeah, I like seeing people's faces, man. It's very satisfying to know that you can bring pleasure to people through the skill set that you've learned over the
Mm.
years, um, which is why we do a bunch of volunteer work. We have the Girl Scouts this Tuesday. Girl Scouts will be coming down here, and the Girl Scouts have to get they have satchels, and they have to get like a food preparation badge. Um,
Mm.
so their troop leaders, like a year and a half ago, had reached out to me. That was the first one, and she said, "This is what they have to get." And
Oh,
would you come to where we are? It was a church in Jamesville is where they met. And I said, sure. I said, I'll do it, no problem. I think I bought like $60 worth of pizza, crust and cheese, and they made their own little pizzas. And that was the cool part for me, Cory, was they got to eat their own creation, and
yeah.
then they're like, oh man, I can't believe I did this. And like, they're eating their own, and they're just so taken back by it. That's the stuff I love. I also love that they gave me 2 boxes of free Girl Scout cookies.
Amen. Amen. Working for those Girl Scout cookies.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting because I have other friends that are in the cooking industry, and when I hear them talk about cooking, they're just so passionate about what they do. And I've always had such a good time talking to them because one of my weaknesses and the reason why I started this podcast was to talk to people and learn what they're passionate about and why they're so passionate about. And I could really understand like getting that satisfaction of you spend X amount of time making this food, right? We'll call it a couple hours, right? And you get to watch them really enjoy what you put together. You're kind of like a craftsman or an artist, you know? That it's really impressive to me. Do you think that this job gives you more of a sense of fulfillment than the train station? Or maybe the train station was just a different type of fulfillment?
Yeah, when I worked for the railroad, you were under the guise of someone else. You
Yeah.
punch the clock. I'm not going to lie to you. When I worked for the railroad, I was gone a lot. I
Mhm.
was gone a lot. When trains derail, it costs the company millions of dollars. So they don't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're at your son's birthday party, get over here. You know,
Ah,
you might be gone for a couple days, you know,
yeah.
of trying to clean all that mess up and get the track fixed because they're all about transportation. So if the track's broken, a train can't go. And if a
Right.
train can't go, that means the next one behind it can't go, and the next one behind it can't go, and so on.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were on an Amtrak and they tell you, Mr. Cory, you're in East Syracuse train station. We're going to say that you're going to be in New York City at 6 o'clock. You're looking at your watch. It's 5:15. You're not going to make it, buddy.
Yeah.
So now you're going to get on the horn, call someone.
Right.
And that's just one person. So imagine that whole train filled up.
Right. Right. Wow. It's things like it's just like things that you just don't ever think about. Like I don't ever think about the process for that kind of stuff. And it's very enlightening for sure. What um what's next for you? Like is it a bigger place? Is it a bigger menu? Is it different things? Is it a larger staff?
Um, yeah, I mean, I could always build bigger team. But with the restaurant that I've bought here, we could probably put out about 1,000 to 1,100 meals per week.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we could easily do it here. We have plenty of room. That was actually the one of the good things that I learned from moving out of so many places was look, we're just going to go big time with it. And
Mm.
then we'll be able to expand as much as we want without having to worry about going somewhere else. We can stay right here.
And this was your third place?
Yeah. Yep.
So that when you got that place, that the idea in mind was to not have to move again and be there for a while because you wanted such a larger space.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
What was it that was so enticing to that location? Just a bigger area?
Yeah, this is massive. And we were in Beeville in that area a lot. This is more centralized. When I bought this restaurant, one of the things that we now opened up is we opened up pickups. We never had that before.
Oh,
I was
you order your food and go pick up from you.
correct, and I was held under someone else. It's not my place, so I can't say to another restaurant owner, "Hey, I'm going to have people walking in here." My insurance doesn't cover that.
Yeah,
My insurance covers my employees, but it's someone else's place. If I mess something up, I now have to replace that. When I
yeah,
bought this place, come on and pick up. It's no problem.
right.
Plus, we're only 2 blocks from Brooklyn Pickle off of West Genesee Street.
Ah,
Tons of our clients pick up either before work or after work. It saves them a $10 delivery fee, and they're 2.3 miles down the road.
right. They're right down the street.
Yep. A lot of law firms, a lot of people at the Justice Center order from us and come and pick up.
Oh, interesting.
A lot
And
of people at the AXA building.
oh, that freaking tower is massive.
Right.
But I
So
mean, it's
they
within
just
maybe a
out here.
3-minute drive.
Yeah,
right?
they pick up, and I think it's less than 6 minutes. A lady told me.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Yep.
When do you guys open? Like when are you guys there for people to pick up food?
So we get all of our groceries and provisions on Monday, half of the day Monday. So from noon until about usually 10 o'clock at night. That's when me and the team, we do a lot of chopping peppers, chopping potatoes, just prep work. Tuesday, we come in at 6 a.m. and start working, and we usually get done, depending on the numbers, but right now it's around 500 per week. We usually get done about anywhere in between 10 o'clock and midnight.
Whoa. That's a long day, 6 a.m. till midnight.
Yeah, it's quite a long day.
Yeah.
But we give everyone breaks, and believe me, they don't mind the paycheck, especially when they have to work a day and a half,
Yeah, right.
And then 7 a.m. I'm here. We offer pickups from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. on Wednesdays only.
Ah, gotcha.
So that's when a lot of people come, and that's also when all my delivery drivers go out and deliver from Baldwinsville to Cazenovia.
Is the truck, is it like a giant Chef Brian branded van?
Nope. Everyone uses their own personal vehicles.
Oh, gotcha.
Everything's refrigerated and comes cold, ready for reheat. Full reheat instructions, full macronutrients labels, as well as labels how to reheat.
Oh, that's genius. I mean, you have such a science to all of this. I love it. Like it's firing off the top of your head like it's no problem.
Yeah. Well, I've learned a lot from mistake.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you a real funny story. One time, I was delivering. This is a long time ago. This is back when I used to have to deliver because we were only like 3 people then, 2 of which were my family members. But I had to go and deliver one time, and I went to go up a lady's steps in Beeville, and she had 10 meals in a bag, and I tripped, and all of her meals like hit the concrete, and I was out there kicking the meals and cussing and all this. Then I turn around, I noticed there was a Ring camera right there. And I wasn't being very nice too. So I called her, I said, "I'll reimburse you for all your meals."
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, if you could not watch your Ring camera footage, that lady, that's probably immediately what she went to, right?
Yeah. That's it's really impressive stuff. I feel it's really cool learning how it's just like any other business owner. It's like learn by mistakes, make smooth systems, and then keep the train rolling. Pun intended, right?
Yeah, right. I did that for years, 25 years to be exact.
Right, exactly.
You learn a lot from mistakes, you really do.
Do you have like a mentor that you talk to, or like somebody that you look up to?
I mean, I trained under Chef Fitzgerald. He taught me a lot when I was younger, when I was in high school. Um, but I mean, it all started with my mother and my grandmother, getting in the kitchen and stirring sauce
Oh, I
or
forgot. I was gonna ask all those recipes. Do you have them like in a book or something?
I do. My grandmother actually, for her what the Polish people call głumkis, or pigs in a blanket. That's her recipe. She was in the St. Mary's cookbook, St. Mary's
Oh,
Church in Beeville, and
oh,
we follow the exact recipe.
oh, really?
Exactly, and that's probably what, a 60-year-old recipe.
Yeah,
Um,
that's food is just so interesting in that way. There's so many different like cultural things, family things, and like recipes that get passed down. And you could take all those collection of all those recipes and even your own. And do I feel like a Chef Brian cookbook is in the future?
you never know. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I wish I was Gordon Ramsay tomorrow. But that's not going to happen where we're at now. But you never know. I set the bar high.
Yeah. And the goals for the future is just to kind of scale and build the business even bigger to where you're at right now.
Yeah, I could guarantee you we'll open a second location.
Wow.
We're now starting. We're just getting into shipping meals. We're thinking about
Interesting.
that. We're running into one problem. Just the problem that I run into is, once it gets out of my hands, I don't know what, say, a postman or UPS does with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it reads this side up, you know,
Yeah.
then they kick it across the factory floor.
Right, right. And then there goes your plating efforts.
Well, ultimately, what they're going to do is say the chef screwed it up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yep.
that's part of the reason, Corey, why for in-home personal chef experience, we do all the shopping. Because
Oh,
if you try to cheap out, or you forget, say, like, you want a creme brulee, but you don't want to spend, creme brulee, the vanilla bean for that is like $12 for a little tube, like a travel size toothpaste. So
yeah.
you don't want to spend that money. Well, now you put that creme brulee in your mouth, and they're going to be like, oh, it doesn't taste right. Well, they're going to think, okay, the chef screwed it up.
Right.
Well, I can't turn around and tell 15 people, well, your client cheaped out and wanted
Yeah.
to go with the Walmart brand, and
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
get paid. So
Right.
I
So that's
always
why
say,
you do all the shopping.
take care of it. Yeah, I'll take care of that. That way I know what I have, and I don't make money on shopping for people. What I pay, they pay.
Yeah.
What I make money is my service.
Now, I feel like every person has a different favorite store that they go grocery shopping at. I feel like there's like Team Wegmans and Team Price Chopper and Team Tops. Where's your like preferred go-to place?
Sure. Wegmans is pretty good. They can get their hands on a lot of different stuff, but
Mm.
Lorenzo's down in the valley. They're great for any kind of seafood, high end seafood. They
Uh,
can get it for you.
Gotcha. So, like, when you're looking seafood, you go to them. Like,
Right.
do you, ever use, Spira's? Spira's is I grew up in Cicero, so, like, Spira's was prime choice when I was younger.
Yeah. Prices are a little high, but
Yeah.
you don't pay what I pay.
Mhm.
You know? And believe it or not, I've had clients say that, someone might get a tomahawk steak. We want 6 tomahawk steaks. Okay, that's no problem. And then they realize that it's $49.99 a pound.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't make money. So if I pay $49 for it, you pay
You pay.
$49 for it. Well,
Right.
they'll sit there and say, someone might say, yeah, but I saw tomahawks at Wegmans for $46. Yeah, okay, go get that then.
Yeah,
You
right.
know?
Wait, no, don't go get those because I wanna shop for you. I don't want you
Well,
to get the cheap
yeah, I
ones. I
mean,
want
you
you to
can
get
get
the
them,
good one.
but then what are you going to do when you have to cook it and cut it and slice
Yeah.
it, figure out
Right.
what goes with it? That's where I come in.
Right, right. And that is like that's for the in-home portion, right? When you're
Right.
doing meal prep takeaways, how do you order all of that food? Because I imagine it's a freaking massive amount of
Yeah.
food.
So just to give you some kind of idea, one of our top fives is meatloaf. It's my own original recipe for meatloaf,
Oh,
mashed potatoes, and gravy. And we'll flip flop it, corn or beans, every
mhm.
once in a while. Um, Last Tuesday, we had that on the menu. We made 193 pounds of meatloaf.
193 pounds?
Correct. Yep.
Oh my God.
So we have to buy like 200 pounds of hamburger.
Oh my God.
And
So
that's
who do you
one
order
week.
200
That's
pounds
one
of
week.
hamburger from? How do you
We go to Minio's for that much hamburger. Yeah, they're over there in East Syracuse.
Oh my God. Dude, that's 50 pounds more than I weigh.
Yeah.
Just hamburger meat.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my.
crazy. But then there you see, like that's where with that dish, you make all that meatloaf. And then I told you about the girl that I hired to make potatoes.
Yeah.
It takes that much. You know what we use to mash our potatoes? When I bought this building, it's an old dough mixer. So it's a 80 quart. I mean, it's like half of a 55-gallon drum.
Oh
You
my
just take
God.
all the potatoes, put them in there,
Yeah.
turn it on, and your cream, your butter, your salt, your sour cream, you know.
Is it just a matter of a math equation at that point? Like you're taking a small scale recipe and then blowing it up to make 200 meals? Is that just like trying to do math in your head?
You know how you spoke about the people that I hire that don't really know too much? That's
Yeah.
where they start. I know it just because I've done it. It's like anything. You do it so many times, repetition, you know, okay.
Right.
It's like a lot of modern day chefs, a lot of chefs, they don't even measure anything. I can pour a tablespoon of salt in my hand and I know exactly I'll put it right in a tablespoon for you and I bet it's the same.
I'll tell you what, that is I call that grandma's cooking.
Yeah.
When you ask grandma what she puts in her food, she's like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It works out in the end.
It does.
Oh man, that's so funny. And with you possibly opening up a second location, that probably means more employees, more people that you're going to need to bring on board.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there like a time frame of when you're going to open up that next place, or are you kind of just taking it day by day?
Well, to be honest with you, my first idea is to conquer the culinary field and let my beautiful bride retire. You know, retire early like I did, and you know, it was quite nice to retire early. You know, so
Brian, you can't keep using retire word when you're freaking working your ass off.
Oh yeah.
You're like, I'm retired now. I'm like, no, dude, you're hustling. You're like, you're straight up like you're a workhorse.
Well, that's this. I had to cut away here, and that there was a lady coming to pick up. She comes from Casanova, and she works here locally down in the city. And she came and picked up 12 meals she gets for her whole family. And I told her, I said, "Yeah, I'm just on a podcast." And she goes, "Oh, you're popular, you know." She's been ordering for us from over a year. I said, she goes, "That's a good problem to have." I said, "Yeah, I wish my knees would agree with you."
Yeah, you know? Right.
Like
how many hours are you
right here? But I feel like 80 right here in my knees, you know?
Yeah. How many total hours are you working every week as you say you're retired?
Yeah, a lot. I mean,
yeah,
I could use more sleep, I could tell you that. But
yeah,
you know, Mr. Cory, that's a lot of what people don't see is cooking and stuff like that. That's probably only 35% of what I do.
Yeah.
You know, then you have stuff like this, media relations, meeting with people, planning, writing menus. You know, you have administration stuff that you still have to do as well. I have to do hiring and firing, or, you know, whatever it takes. I mean, there's so many different avenues that are involved in businesses, you know, running a small business that people don't see.
Right. Right. And then how do you juggle all those balls? Because that's a lot. Like work, hiring, ordering, menu writing, family. Got to find family time. Got to find Brian time. How do you juggle all of that?
Yeah, I try as hard as I can, pal. To be honest with you, I do. You know, some things go to the wayside, but again, this is where you start building a good team. Bookkeepers. You know, I used to try to do all that myself, and then, you know, I was taught very early, stay in your lane, you know, and that's one thing that a lot of businesses fail on is they try to do it all, and it doesn't work that way. So I had to hire bookkeepers, you know, and to be honest with you, I went out and I asked a lot of other restaurant owners when I first started this business about 2.5 years ago. I asked them, I said, how do you do bookkeeping? You know, like I said, I worked for a company. I punched.
You didn't have your own business.
Right. Everything was laid out for me. This is what you're going to do. And when you're done with that, do this. And then, you know, so I went to a lot of business owners. A lot of business owners gave me, you know, They just didn't want to. They didn't want to tell me how they did business.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
wanted to know everything that I was doing. They wanted to know, oh, how are you succeeding when we're ready to, close the
Right,
doors? This was
right.
at the height of COVID.
Yeah, you said you started in 2020, so yeah,
Right. So they were thinking, Jesus, how am I losing more than half of my customers? And I'm not even what I tried to explain to them is I'm not even taking your customers.
right.
We're a restaurant. I'm not a restaurant.
Yeah,
Well, uh, that's like saying like Pizza Hut is taking,
right.
Dominic's business. They're not.
Yeah,
They're two different,
right.
one's a
Two
sit down,
totally separate.
one's delivered to my door on a Friday night, so I don't
Right,
have to feed the kids.
right.
I'm
It
totally
just
different thing.
it comes from that idea, just like it's nutrients and it's food in your mouth. So we're
Correct.
competitors. No, we're
Right.
not. We're both in it to that's kind of like real estate. It's a very competitive, natural business. But there's a lot of great people out there that would be happy if you called a real estate agent up and you're another real estate agent. They would be happy to tell you how they do business and their process on things. And then there will be some who won't want to give you the time of day. But those ones that can spend 5 minutes with you are worth their weight in gold.
Sure they are.
You
Yeah.
know?
That's I mean, just that's why I had said to you, if it has to deal with food, give me a call. Um,
Yeah.
Keller Williams. So you probably know who this is, but
Yeah.
there's a young lady that works for Keller Williams, and she reached out to me. So what I do for her is I come and I hand out finger foods and I plate it while people look at houses.
Nice.
It's an attraction to come and look at that house.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Um,
almost like you're
so
doing that during like an open house or something?
like an open house. That's exactly what it is. Another facet of that, there's a young lady in Marcellus that buys probably about 3 or 4 of our gift certificates for $1,000 every month. And what she does is she gives that to her people that have bought houses.
Mm,
Congratulations on your new purchase.
yeah.
Personal chef's going to come on in and you schedule it when you want, and he'll give you a nice dinner in your new home.
Right, right. Wow. That's a great idea. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, so the opportunities are endless.
Right.
It's something that no one's ever really heard of. And
Yeah.
once they are at one of our parties or something like that, or have heard of our meal prep delivery service, they just jump on it.
Yeah.
They're just amazed by it.
Right. Right. Well, it's because you are a fantastic human being and you are one hell of a chef. That's why.
Thank
Like
you.
your work speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's I love doing it, Cory. I do.
I could tell.
I wouldn't be in it if I didn't love it. I
I
did
can tell.
something
I feel like
before.
when you started from when we started to when you started talking about food, it was just like you lit up. It was
Yeah,
really cool to see. I could really tell that you're passionate. You actually really care about the food that people are consuming, especially when it's coming from you, you know?
yeah. It's nice to know that you can make people's palates happy just
Yeah.
off of something that you've created.
Yeah. Listen, palate aside, you've made me very happy today for taking an hour of your time to talk about your business. It's been really cool, and I feel like I learned so much from talking to you.
Good, good. I'm glad. Anytime you want to try some meals, you just let me know. We'll send them down there to Howard Hanna for you.
Yeah, seriously, I'm taking your number down now because it's on your shirt because I'm gonna have to do something
Oh
with you
yeah.
now because it was fantastic.
I didn't even notice. I have about 500 of these shirts, and my wife complains. She says it's the only thing I wear now. But that's the thing
You
is,
don't wear any of the nice shirts I gave you.
right. I'll go to a grocery store. I'll be in Wegmans or something, and someone will say to me, "Hey, chef, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hi." They're like,
Oh,
"Oh,
sure.
we order your meals." I'm like, I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
there's so much that comes in and out the door. I don't. Tell me what you order. That's probably how. Oh, you're the
Yeah.
lasagna lady. That's the way I.
Yeah.
You know.
That's amazing. That is so cool. Brian, thank you so much for doing this. I won't keep you any longer. You are fantastic for doing this, and I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome, bud.